grandma has a real thing for gravy. She keeps like 50 packets of instant gravy mix in the pantry. I mean, what's the deal with that? You get down anywhere under like 30 packs, and she's in panic mode. Quick! To the store! We need more gravy! Think of the children! What's anyone gonna do with all that gravy? I'll tell you what, she puts it on beef roast. Yeah, that's exactly what dried out beef needs. More brown. I mean, how could you do that to the most perfect food ever created? There's no gravy necessary. You just roast it. Then you slap it on a bun, and boom, perfection.
Hello, Patsy.
Hello, Lucy.
I'm a little confused here, Patsy.
You aren't a little anything, Lucy. Well, what's pissing you off today?
Do you really have to ask? What are we doing here in this dingy club? Why do I have this mailman costume on? And why are you wearing that tie?
Well, I figured it would be obvious to someone with your advanced years and all, but I guess I'll have to break it down for you. This stuff was really popular in the 90s. It's still going strong in reruns, so I figured I'd experiment with the format a little and see if it could work for us too.
Well, that's a terrible idea, Patsy. I mean, you're just not funny. Unless people want to laugh at your face.
Oh, last time I heard a burden that bad was when I called you fatty 2x4.
See what I mean? Good thing you have that laugh track to cover the deafening silence. Now come on, let's roll the theme song and get out of here.
Okay, the tie's a little itchy anyway.
Greetings, humans. I am R.I.C., the robotic integrated cat. I have paused my quest for world domination to remind you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Why am I promoting my sworn enemy Patsy's channel? Mind your own business and stop asking questions. Oh yes, and adopt. Don't shop. R.I.C. commands you. Now back to your regular scheduled program.
Well, here we are again. One of these times, it would be really nice to just say, "Hi, I'm Patsy. I'm pretty great. This is a story about me, eating Arby's." But no! Now there's a Gruntato in the picture. Let's be honest. I don't want Lucy to hear me say this, but she's not always terrible. But the longer she's been with us, I'm noticing a change. She's getting more and more grumpy. You could chalk it up to age. I mean, she's pretty old in people years. I don't even want to attempt the math to figure out her dog year age. But, I feel like there's more to it than her just being a fossil. And it's becoming more and more of a problem. She's always been a bully to me, but now it's starting to spread. We've been getting a lot of deliveries because of the pandemic. Lucy can always sense the delivery guys from a mile away, and she makes sure they know they aren't welcome. Then there's Aunt Chris. She's Lucy's favorite people target. I love it when Aunt Chris comes over. She's always got a nice head scratch or a belly rub in store. How are you gonna turn that down? Well, Lucy would rather scare poor Chris off like a frightened child. Speaking of frightened children, sometimes when Lucy gets in the zone, she gets pretty irritable if one of the taters wakes her up.
You're mine, boy.
I decided it was time I do something about this. But what? It was time for me to have a girl-to-girl talk with my friend Pebble. I knew we could come up with something if we put our minds together. So, that's the gist of it. I really don't know what to do.
Well, have you tried burning sage? They always do that on ghost excursions when people are acting crazy.
She's just grumpy. It's not like she's possessed or anything.
Well, that's different then. Maybe she's lonely and she just needs some companionship.
Yeah, but who's gonna want to hang out with the grumpy old dog? She's not even famous, like Muttley or Droopy or Snoop Dogg.
We'll just use some creativity. Make her sound a little less awful. Off the top of your head, how would you describe Lucy?
Well, I'm really not sure where to start. The gremlin face? The tater sack body? The weird kangaroo legs? How do you twist that?
I'll tell you how. Exotic ancestry.
Oh, that's pretty good. But, she's giant like a pig or a cow.
You mean she's curvy?
You're really good at this. But how do we skirt around her crotchety personality?
That one's easy. She's sassy. So, Patsy, I couldn't help but notice you haven't touched your food. Mind if I help myself?
No! When I came in here, I was too distraught to eat. But now I'm feeling better, and I'm not giving up this delicious Arby's meal for anything.
Arby's, we have the meat.
So now we had a solid plan. Pebble brought me home, and I hopped on Daddy's computer. I found a picture of Lucy, and I used Photoshop and some Snapchat filters to make her look a little less like a goblin. Then I set up an account for her on this dating site called Plenty of Paws. I used all of Pebble's lies, exaggerations, and I made a pretty convincing argument for going out with her. Suckers. Those lucky pooches. Anyway, now it was time to get Lucy on board. Hey, sis.
Don't you hey sis me. I clearly don't have any blonde princess in my ancestry, and I don't have time to deal with your empty-headed nonsense today.
Oh, well, it's nice to see you too, Rumple Grumpskin. Actually, I wouldn't normally bother you at all, but, some of us have noticed you're extra cranky lately. We think maybe to help your mood, you should get out and meet someone. Look, we even set you up a profile on Plenty of Paws. Why don't you take a look? See if you see anyone you might like.
Okay, fine. As long as I can go back to my nap afterwards. I've only gotten 14 hours of sleep today. Hey, I remember seeing this guy on America's Most Wanted. Ugh, he's really let himself go. I'm gonna have to swipe left. Gordo? What kind of name is that? Is he like 3/4 of a gordita or something? Looks more like a shrimp to me. What's with that bathroom selfie? And Carlos Mencia? That's a hard no. He's an even worse comedian than you are, Patsy.
Hey,
I'm gonna have to say no for her, too. I know her. She eats too much. That's my job. It would never work. Okay. He could be promising. He looks good, lives close by, likes to blame you for stuff. Right swipe. Ooh, look at this handsome fella. He knows the Colonel? I love the Colonel. He likes to sleep all day? I like to sleep all day. He likes MacGyver? That's my favorite show. He's perfect.
him? Don't you think, there's something a little off about him? That's the weirdest looking dog I've ever seen.
Why are you always trying to ruin my life? This is my only chance of happiness.
Talk about love at first sight. Lucy was infatuated. They chatted on that app all night long. Lucy even skipped a few naps the next day. The plan had worked. She seemed genuinely happy. Next thing you know, they started video chatting. Lucy's, embellished stories were out in full effect.
I really love to travel, but I always seem to have the worst luck. Once I was vacationing on Pompeii, and wouldn't you know it, the volcano erupted. Luckily, I'd just gotten my OOLD card, so I was able to get a discounted ticket on a Greek trireme and sail out of there. Yep, and did I ever tell you about how I was Abraham Lincoln's dog? The White House sure does have a nice yard to dig holes in. Do you like to dig holes? One time I dug a hole on this island off the coast of Canada, and I buried a treasure in it. I was working for the Knights Templar at the time.
This all went on for about a week. Lucy sure does have a colorful, if not questionable, history. This Booker fella just let her go on and on. I couldn't figure out why he'd put up with it and not question it. Something smelled fishy. Speaking of fishy, the Lovebirds decided on a seafood place for their first date. I decided I'd quietly tag along and keep an eye on things.
Ooh, this place reminds me of the bayou. Hope there's no swamp monsters. At least they don't ask for money, though. I hear the Loch Ness Monster is pretty greedy, always asking for cash. She has a cousin up in Vermont named Champ.
Hi, welcome to Don't Get Hooked. Can I get you started with a nice kale salad?
I don't know. Can I get you started with a nice cake in the... Hey, I feel like I know you from somewhere.
Oh, well, this is just my night job. I work the drive-thru at Arby's, too. But a little while back, some really hairy girls came through and stole a bunch of roast beef sandwiches. My manager was really upset because I was short $21.40. So, she cut my hours. I had to get the job here to pay them back.
That's a real sad story, guy. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the ceviche, some Cajun shrimp, a plate of fish tacos, and a salmon burger.
Sure thing, sir. I'll be right back.
Sir!
Calm down, Beefy. We've got to figure out what's going on here. Something isn't right. Booker is looking at canned tuna on the menu. What dog do you know that would eat canned tuna?
I'd eat canned tuna.
That's different. You would eat a pile of rocks if they had ketchup on them. What about that hat? I mean, he always has that thing on. Who would wear such an ugly hat on a first date? And how about those ears? They look so fake.
Well, maybe he's an oddball breed.
Or maybe he's a cat.
Anyway, once I got to Anchorage, I joined this team of sled dogs and we ran the Iditarod race. Alaska was nice and all, but...
Booker, there you are.
I knew I had heard that name before. Booker is Melody and Paul's cat at their mom's house. But why was he disguised as a dog and on a date with Lucy?
Booker, what are you doing here?
Yeah, and what's with that hat?
Booker, I don't understand.
Wait, I think I know. I showed him Patsy's YouTube channel. He wanted to be popular too. I guess the easiest way for him to get into an episode was to go out with Lucy.
Sorry, Lucy. I mean to hurt
I'm really sorry all this happened, Lucy. Come on, why don't you let us give you a ride home? I tell you what, we'll even stop by the Colonel's on the way. Which reminds me, Pebble, I had to pay for your meal here, and leave a giant tip to pay back the Arby's guy. You owe me.
Yeah, I'll cover the chicken. Patsy, quick! We're gonna miss the opening monologue.
Slow your roll, Speedy. I'm trying to find the remote. And hey, pass that extra bucket down here.
Extra? Oh yeah, extra. not my second bucket.
You're still up, pup, with your host, Johnny and Patsy. And now, here's Johnny.
Thank you. It's so nice of you.
Whoa,
So nice.
this is pretty good.
Thanks for inviting
I mean,
me to your
not Arby's good, but I definitely put it in the
We got some
rotation.
real weird, wild stuff tonight, don't we?
You are correct, sir.
Aren't you gonna have any, Lucy?
Ed,
I don't know.
do you know what they
I'm not
call a
really
dog
hungry.
that's been left outside
I thought
for a
this
long
was my
period of
shot.
time?
I really just wanted to find someone who likes
That would
me.
be a chili dog. Thank you.
Oh, hey, handsome. Pass that bucket on over here, Patsy.
Are you really sure you want to let him watch you eat that?
I don't really see a problem. He's clearly seen how voluptuous I am. He's a ghost. He's not blind.
That's not what I was worried about, Lucy. I didn't want him to be offended by your terrible table manners and run off.
I'm more concerned about him getting tired of your voice, Patsy.
This is the thanks I get for trying to help you again? I'll just keep my thoughts to myself next time.
That's the smartest thing you said this entire episode. No wonder more people don't subscribe to your channel.
Yeah, definitely has nothing to do with the supporting cast.